20 plus years in corporate is teaching me about designing freedom. Let's get into it. Corporate taught me how to think in long term. So let's think about 5-year plans, strategies, quarterly goals, things like that. They require you to plan and to think about it in a strategic way, in a logical way. And that is very important when you are designing what's coming next. Freedom in your second life requires that same kind of planning, that same kind of mindset, that same kind of thinking. Your second life cannot be built just on emotions alone. It takes some strategic planning, and this is why we are diving into this now. It must be architected. We need to think about how this is going to look for us in our second life. We need to plan. It needs to be laid out, and it needs to be designed in a way that it fulfills us completely in our second life. And the interesting thing about this is I have been a forward thinker, a planner in a sense, but not when it comes to kind of, everyday life type of thing. But at work, I am that person. At work, I am thinking like that. I'm trying to think bigger picture. I'm trying to think the full scope of things. I'm trying to think the total, every piece of the pie, the whole aspect of it. And that does take some practice. And after 20 years, thankfully, I have gained an ability to do that, and it is going to serve me well in my second life. Hence the reason why I'm out now planning 5 years out, and hopefully what I have learned will give me what I need in my strategic planning for my second life. So I know you have learned the same thing, and I hope that you are relating to this fact, because that mindset is going to serve you. And this is why we are coming together to start thinking and start planning and start strategically aligning things for ourselves. Second thing corporate taught me was structure is not the opposite of freedom. Structure is what helps us to create the freedom in our second life. Structure is what you are going to need to plan accordingly and to be able to have the freedom and the ease that you're wanting in your second life. Incorporate those systems and that structure. Show me that is how you create efficiency. And we need efficiency in our second life. We need efficiency to help get us to the freedom, to help us design the freedom that we want to have in our second life. The third thing corporate taught me is that financial leverage buys optionality. So what I mean by that is your corporate income, the money you have made on your job for the last 20 years, it is not just your income. It has funded and will continue to fund until the day you walk out the doors what you are planning to do in your second life. You look at your corporate income as a tool. I hope that is how you're looking at it. It funds your investments, it funds your retirement plans, it funds all of the fun things that you like to get into, it funds your hobbies, it funds the second part of your life, and it's been doing so if you have been into some other things since you have been working. Your skill development, it is funding this whole exit strategy, and this is how we have to look at it. Freedom without capital is very fragile. You don't have it. It is non-existent, okay? So if you are considering you're getting paid every single day, this was the reason we put the second life bucket together. We established that because our income is doing all of the hard work for us now financially when it comes to planning. We are going to use our income to continue to fund the second life bucket. We're going to use that income to build our business, like create our business plan, purchase the whatever systems we need to have in place. We're going to use that to get educated for what we plan to do in our second life. We're going to continue to use this money as a tool to achieve the freedom that we are trying to achieve in our second life. That is very important, to see that money as that now, not just to blow it on the random things that you may want to blow it on, shopping and the eating out, the travel, the fun. Yes, all of that is good, and I'm not saying don't do it, but here we are 5 years out, and it is time to really get disciplined and to really get focused on how we are using that money while we have it. Because keep in mind, when we enter our second life, you won't have this income. The goal will be whatever business, whatever you're creating in your second life, that money will be the supplemental income to what you were getting on your corporate job. And that is very important to think about that, to know that, to understand that reality now. You're not going to have this income. Now, granted, you may have some other forms of income, some other streams, which would be great, and we will dive more into that. But right now, the goal is establishing the second life bucket and then using money from your income to grow that. If you do not have money, finances, the financial ability to walk away, you will not be able to walk away. You will not be able to enjoy your second life because you don't have the financials in place to do that. That is a very, very big thing that we have to think about and talk about and consider right now. The fourth thing corporate taught me is excellence is portable. Okay, you can be excellent anywhere you are doing anything that you choose to do. And the reason that is because the discipline and the excellence and all the things that you gained when you worked in corporate, it does not disappear when you decide to retire. Those things just evolve because they are a part of you. They are part of how you operated for the last 20 years in your career. They evolve and they become a part of your next life, your next chapter. This is your discipline, your strategic thinking, your professionalism. It all becomes assets in your second life. They all become usable assets and beneficial assets in your second life. When it comes to your business, your lifestyle, how you show up in general, these are assets that are going to serve you in your second life. They will not go away. Think about this. We just talked about how you need to have options and you need to be able to have funds to do things that you want to do in your second life. When it comes to enhancing your knowledge that you have gained in your career to better serve you in your second life, the income that you are making from your corporate income now, this is where we start thinking about that. What knowledge development do I need to gain now? What resources do I need to tap into now? Where do I need to learn and tackle these new ideas and projects and thoughts? Where do I need to learn those things? And I need to be doing that now while I have the income and the extra disposable income to pay for those things. This is where we need to start planning and aligning that now. So this brings me to a point that I'll show you guys. I'm going to go and do a design and style class in London at the end of March. And this is what I mean by knowledge development and tapping into the things that I want to learn and enhance the skills so that in my second life they serve me. My goal in my second life is to continue my style consultation business and continue to grow that and that be what I do in my second life. But there are some skills that I need to develop, and I'm going to take this class for 5 days in order to do that. So this is what I mean by I already have skills surrounding this, but I want them to be excellent. I want them to be great because I can already do this. I've learned all of these things. I have the business acumen and I have the ability. I want to learn more, right? So I'm using my corporate income to pay for that, so that when I get ready to do that in my second life, I'm already full of knowledge. Maybe not an expert at anything because I'm going to always be willing to learn and grow, but I have the knowledge and the ability to do what this skill set says I can do because I've trained, I've studied, I've learned, and I've gotten clients that I can show and prove. So this is the idea behind taking advantage of the corporate income so that you can build knowledge and develop skills now while you are still working. You will be excellent wherever you go and wherever you do because you have been excellent. We're not concerned about that, and keep that in mind. You can be that no matter where you are and where you go in your second life, but you may want to hone in on some skills and you may want to develop some knowledge. So this is why this is important. And this brings me to the last point that I learned from corporate is freedom is designed. It's not something you escape to. And you're not quitting your job. You're not just walking away. You are graduating to something bigger and better for you. You are taking the wisdom, the discernment, financial foundation, and designing a life that reflects who you want to be, who you are becoming, who you will be come 2031. So this is all important. You have to design the life that you want. And you've designed projects, you've delivered solutions, you've enabled decision makers. You've done all of these things. You've been excellent in so many ways already. You have the knowledge, you have the skills, you have the ability, and we want to take advantage of all of that as we plan and prepare and strategically plan for our second life. And that is the goal of all of this now. You've learned so much. Think about what all you have learned and start to take advantage of that. Planning with strategic thinking in mind, planning with freedom in mind, designing what your second life is going to look like, feel like, how it's going to produce and serve you and whoever else it serves. This is the goal. So I hope this was helpful. In the comments below, tell me one thing that you have thought about since I've been talking in this video that you have learned or you have gained in your corporate career that you now realize is going to help you plan your second life. What's one of those things that you have learned from corporate and is going to help you? So drop me a comment and let me know. I would love to hear. And I hope, like I said, you are loving the Second Life series. Stay tuned. Go catch up if you haven't, if you've missed some episodes. Like, subscribe, share, tag someone who you think may want to be on this journey with us, who's in this same phase of life. And yeah, let's create a community. Let's connect and let's talk more. And until next time, bye.